There's going to be a lot of blockchains in the future, and they're going to have to communicate. Could Polkadot be the network that helps them do that? Hey everybody, this is Jeremy from blockchain.wtf. The rise of blockchains over the past couple of years has made one thing clear. There is no singular blockchain. Bitcoin is of course the first and most popular chain, but the market has exploded with several other options. And there's no indication that this trend is even going to slow down. Blockchain-enabled world will likely have more than one blockchain, and in order to optimize these networks, these chains are going to have to communicate with each other. Also, scaling concerns are holding back the full potential of blockchains. And that's where the Polkadot network comes in. Their message is put simply and plainly: Polkadot is a network that connects blockchains. Easy. Like other networks that are looking to connect blockchains, they point out a few key challenges that they aim to conquer in order to become the bridge between blockchains. The first is pretty simple. Polkadot's main goal is to create interoperability between chains. Polkadot is designed to enable applications and smart contracts on one blockchain to seamlessly work and transact with data and assets on other chains. But none of this matters if we don't have a scalable solution for these networks in Polkadot itself. There's a lot of different research and solutions being thrown around for scaling, but Polkadot's idea is pretty interesting. There are three main components that make up a Polkadot network. The first are parachains, which gather and process information off-chain. That information is then passed on to a relay chain, which passes that information to other parachains, effectively allowing other parachains to communicate. That information can also be sent back to the main chain via a device called bridges that basically acts as a communication between the relay that gathers all the information from the parachain and back to the original blockchain. That information is then passed on to a relay chain, which passes information to other parachains or to the last part of the network known as bridges. All bridges do, they act as communication between the relay network and the original blockchain, so once all the information is processed, it can get imprinted on-chain. So the idea is that if parachains are able to help limit the data that each main chain has to process, they essentially take the load off the main chain via parachains, crunch some numbers, and send abbreviated information back to the main chain via the bridge. Polkadot has done some research and said that if transactions are processed linearly, like most blockchains do now, you're going to max out at about 1,000 transactions per second. Parachains process data in a parallel manner, which theoretically should increase transaction capacity exponentially. And all this contributes to a certain vision that Polkadot has. According to Polkadot's mission statement, we envision a web where our identity and our data is our own, safely secured from any central authority. Our aim is to reshape the existing internet structure to what we are calling Web 3, a completely decentralized web. So these blockchain ecosystems already exist separately, we just need something to connect these blockchains. And seamless integration of bridge systems like Polkadot can bring about an internet where we truly control our own data. So instead of sacrificing your privacy by letting your identity just float around the internet, Polkadot lets you pick and choose which chains you want to be part of, and in turn, which chains get your information. The Polkadot ecosystem is going to use the DOT token for three primary reasons. First, tokens are used as a mechanism for governance. This allows token holders to make decisions as a whole by voting or staking. The introduction of the DOT token also allows for certain incentives to be put in place that make the ecosystem more secure. Since nobody wants to lose out on their staked DOT, they are incentivized to act in a correct manner. And if they act maliciously, well, goodbye staked DOT. A huge part of the Polkadot ecosystem are what is known as parachains, those smaller chains that do a lot of the computation and then use the relay to get the information back to the bridge. DOT tokens are bonded in order to set up a parachain. And if and when that parachain outlives its use, then the parachain can be abandoned and the bonded tokens are returned. While the planning for Polkadot is definitely in motion, there's no imminent release on the horizon. The tokens are set to be released with the Genesis block somewhere in the third quarter of 2019. At Genesis, there'll be 10 million DOT tokens. 3 million will go to the Web3 Foundation, founded by Dr. Gavin Wood, head of this project. 2 million will have been sold in pre-sale, leaving 5 million, or half of all tokens at Genesis, for a second price Dutch auction. So instead of a normal Dutch auction where you put in a bid for a certain amount of tokens and the price gradually goes down, this auction will have you simply put up how much money you're willing to pay and then use a predetermined structure to figure out how many coins you'll receive. That's all we got on Polkadot. Any comments or questions about Polkadot or networks that are going to connect blockchains, throw those down below in the comments. And while you're there, like, subscribe, hit that bell so you actually get notified of our videos. And if you're looking to learn more about blockchains and cryptocurrencies, head over to blockchain.wtf. I'm Jeremy with WTF, and I'll see you next time.